Hello and welcome to Parents as Pupils 2020. My name is Miss Demon and I'm the Head of Science here at the Reach Free School. I'd like to take you back. What can you recall about electricity? This is a Year 7 topic that we teach within our physics. Could you match the scientific word listed with the correct scientific definition on the left-hand side in this table? They're mixed up. They're not in the right order. This is an example of a do now task that we complete within science. Each of our lessons begins with a do now task, something that will push them to learn something new, engage them into what we're about to do within our lesson, or go over prior learning so that we are constantly recapping what we've done and we don't forget it, and we can build that in to our learning into the lessons moving forward. Have a go. Here is an overview of our course content for Key Stage 3 within Science, covering our biology, chemistry and our physics strands. The overview of our course is based upon understanding the core principles for a strong science education. It covers all of the key concepts required for our Key Stage 4 learning that will enable our pupils to access both combined science and our triple science courses that we offer here at the Reach Free School. Where possible, we ensure that our lessons are practical based. Pupils want to be in science and they want to be doing this and they want to have experiments. They want to practically access the learning. Particular topics in science can be conceptually very difficult to understand. You can't see particles moving. You cannot see the flow of electricity. By doing a practical, it allows our pupils to access a topic or access and understand how something may react or how electricity flows. So practicals are really important, as well as having a fun and engaging Key Stage 3 scheme of work, which we hope we developed, and this is exactly what we share with you today. With biology, we cannot go on to understanding the breathing system and respiration if we don't understand cells and organisation. So as you can see, as we go from Year 7 to Year 8, the topics build on one another. We need the topics in Year 7 before we can go on to teach the topics in Year 8. And this continues as they move through the school and they access our Key Stage 4 curriculum to then go on to complete their GCSEs. It's all fundamental key concepts that are required to then go on to gain great GCSE science results. Our expectations in science are high. We want really enthusiastic, reflective learners. We want our pupils to come in ready to learn, a want to learn, a drive to want to understand science. I appreciate that science may be something that some pupils have a barrier up with or could find difficult. It's not easy. We want to be able to break down those barriers. We want them to access that learning and find ways in which they can access learning within science. Our curriculum is designed to ensure that we do that with them. Having a reflective learner is one that's responsive, a pupil that will ask the questions, whether that be asking if they're unsure and raising their hand and saying, didn't quite get that, can we go over it again? Or could you explain that to me in a different way? Those are great learners, but so are those that want to challenge us and want to ask different questions and push the learning within a lesson. Being really reflective within class is really, really important. Being reflective as a learner when they go home to do their homework is also just as important. The good communication is something that we really strive to work on here at the Reach Free School. Having exceptional communicational skills, having pupils to communicate with us as their teachers, us being able to communicate with yourselves as parents, and obviously as you as parents with your own children at home, communicating and understanding what you've learned, what if they didn't understand, what is it they want to work on, how can we improve that communication. It may not be that they feel confident to put their hands up in class. We don't necessarily need that, but it would be amazing for pupils to email us, access us via Google Classroom, communicate if they're unsure, communicate if they want more or if they'd like to be challenged, or if they'd like to go over a topic. So communication for us is exceptionally important, as is outstanding attendance. Missing a science lesson or missing a series of science lessons can be detrimental to their learning. They may miss a particular concept that needs to be developed and worked on within the next few lessons. By missing that, or by missing a series of lessons, means that they're already on the back foot. They're already going to struggle to access the learning. We don't want that. So actually being present in the lesson and being there is just so vital. If they do miss a lesson, then they can always access that learning via Google Classroom. So we want them to ensure that should they miss a lesson and the attendance and you're off ill, sometimes it happens, we go back over the learning and we ensure that we look at Google Classroom, we look at what we was taught, and we see if we can go over that. I'm going to end with an exceptional attitude to learning. I think that speaks for itself. A really strong work ethos, pupils that have a want to learn, a want to engage within lessons and be part of the class dynamic, practically access the learning as well as theoretically within our science lessons. The way that we assess our pupils in science, at the end of a particular topic, they will complete an end of topic test. This will be marked by us and this will be fed back. But we also have a number of other forms of assessment, one being the Google form, which you can see to the right-hand side. A Google form is a list of questions. They can be short, multiple choice questions in which pupils get immediate feedback. So in this one, it's out of 15. It was multiple choice. How much did they score? What did they get out of 15? They can also have a look at the mark scheme, see where they went wrong. Google Forms can also be used for longer style questions and 2-marker questions, 3-mark questions, in which they need to write more, not just tick a box, in which us as teachers, we can mark them and again release the scores to them. By releasing the scores, people can access the mark scheme, have a look at where they went wrong. On the left-hand side is an example or a screenshot from something called Seneca. Seneca is our online learning platform. This is an example of an assignment that was set for our Key Stage 3. Pupils can access learning, do revision, go over a particular topic, and then they will meet a number of questions or a quiz in which they will get scored. If they're 100%, that's great. You can see that there are scores that are marked as orange. Should there be scores that are less than 50%, as a teacher, we can reassign the Seneca assignment to them and they can have another go. Seneca is incredible. So as a teacher, I can see where the pupils are. Pupils can see how much they've done and how much they've completed. But Seneca also offers a parent platform in which you as parents can go on and you can be part of your pupils' learning. You can see how much they've accessed Seneca. And I'll go on to that in a second. So how can you help us, or how can you help your child at home? First thing I'd say is to review our Google Classroom. Google Classroom is where we will upload all of our lessons. So any lessons and topics that we are covering automatically get loaded every single day so that pupils can access the PowerPoint and the resources that we use within lessons. Google Classroom is also where we set our assignments or our homework with specific deadline dates. That's all to view on Google Classroom, and it's really important that as parents you can go on and regularly monitor their Google Classroom for both classwork and for homework deadlines. As I've mentioned, Seneca, it's a really, really amazing tool. There is a parent platform in which you can access and review how your child is accessing Seneca. How much do they go on? What did they score in their last assessment? And that's something that you can then communicate with them over. I'd ask or urge you to have a look at their science books when they come home. Have a flick through, see what we're learning, ask them about it. There is a can-do sheet, which is what's in front of you. So the sheet in front of you with a list of statements. So this one is a Year 9 can-do sheet for Earth and Atmosphere. This is a list of specification points. So this is what we're going to teach them. This is what they're going to cover in the whole of this module. Pupils will date this as we go through the lessons, and they will date when they've been taught this. But this can-do sheet is so very important. It's something that they can then look back over when they want to then revise for an end of topic test. It's something they can use and make sure that, did they understand that? If I didn't understand that, how can I go back over this? Also within their books, you will notice that they have green feedback sheets. The feedback sheets are incredible. It's where we've had a look through their books and addressed any potential misconceptions. It's a chance for pupils to complete tasks within lessons, always within a purple pen. These tasks are to enable them to access where they potentially have gone wrong. Can they have another go? Can we do a specific task? Can we improve that learning? But they also work in a positive way, in which pupils are praised for potentially effort, use of technical terms, their presentation, or their responses in class, in which they're given reach points. We also have Key Stage 3 revision guides. You can access these, you can buy them. But what I would say is Key Stage 3 scheme of work is not specific. It's not aligned to any exam board. So any kind of Key Stage 3 science books that you have at home would all be valuable resources. There's BBC Bite Size, which is an online learning. We've got Exploring Science. So the 3 books that the picture there, actually these 3 books are also available online for our pupils via Active Learn. So they don't need to go and buy these books. They can access these via their Active Learn that we have within school. Oak National Academy, a new tool that's been provided to all of us, but actually exceptional for our science learning. Pupils can go on and access quizzes, PowerPoints, learning, a series of lessons that support the learning that we do within the Reach Free School. Communication. So I've listed this already and I've stated it, how important it is for us to be communicating with you as parents, for you to communicate with the pupils at home or your children at home, and how important it is for us to communicate with you as parents. So we go back to the do now task that I started with. From year 7, it's really important that we highlight the various terminology that we're going to access within science. Scientific literacy is really important. It's very different to the literacy potentially that we'll have within an English lesson. For example, here where you would meet the word charge. Charge here in physics talks about something very different. It's a property of matter that causes the force when they're near one another. Charge in English is very different. So scientific literacy is very important for our pupils, and it's something that we think that needs to be accessed and picked up straight away when they join us. It's something that we do with every single topic within science. To enable our pupils to improve their quality of written communication is imperative. As we move into GCSE, they get marked on their quality of written communication, how well they access their scientific literacy. We want this scientific literacy to be something that they use within lessons, how they answer their questions in class, also how they write their answers in classwork and homework. So these definitions and these keywords are really, really important. It will stand them in great stead for their GCSEs. Thank you for taking time to watch this virtual event. Should you have any feedback or you do have any additional questions, then please do fill out this evaluation form. Thank you.